Good day, boys and girls. Wait, no, honesty works better. Let's try that again. Good day, neckbeards and forest twats. Let's talk about travel. Walking? This shit fucking sucks. And it takes a lot of clicking. Like, you gotta click here, here, here. Yeah, fuck that. I assume you have 1/8 of a brain cell, so we're not going to go over your basic teleports like your Lumbridge or your Varrock teleport. That's not our focus today. We're going to focus on the bit of the more advanced traveling routes. Unfortunately, today's episode is going to be talking a lot about those Iron Man masochists who realize RuneScape isn't a game you openly admit you play to other people. They prefer to walk a lonely road while singing Boulevard of Broken Dreams like it's still 2004, because it isn't just this game that's stuck 20 years in the past. You may be asking yourself, why so much focus on Iron Man? Well, that's because master swagologists have studied transportation for centuries and learned if you can throw money at another human being, it's a lot faster to move places. Depending on the amount of money and the human you're throwing it at, you can get them to move fast back to your place. Iron Men don't know about that, though. They probably don't even realize there's a pandemic going on right now, just that their roommate seems to be home a lot more often. You'll notice that I'm at the GE. That's because we're going to start with the Bible teleports. Let's get the real Chads their content, so they can click off the video and get on with their flipping, staking, money-making, PVMing. You know, the shit that real people like to do. So, first thing we're going to focus on is the Master Scrollbook and all the teleports in there. Narda, fucking garbage. There's so many other ways to heal in this game, and if you really need to go to the desert, move your house to Polovniat and teleport there. It's a short carpet ride, not really necessary. Dig site we're going to cover in a few minutes. You have a couple options. Filled Up Hills has a fairy ring or two. There's no reason to use this. Lunar Isle, go use somebody's house portal. It's not worth paying for a scroll. Morton, these things are like 25k. Who the fuck wants to spend that? Use a Barrows tab. Use the Shades of Morton minigame. Pest control. Now this is a mint teleport. We're going to come back to that in a second. Piscatoris. Why the fuck would you ever go to Piscatoris? Tybwell One-Eye. There's a fairy ring right there. Ireworth Camp. There's a few times that you use these for clue scrolls, but otherwise they're not worth having. Mostly harmless. Again, it's a clue scroll thing. It's not something you actually need. Lumberyard teleports. People use these to make mud rooms or for really fast rune crafting XP. Otherwise, they're just a huge waste of money. Zalandra teleports. Again, you're either wasting money to avoid the fairy ring, or it teleports you right there. Revenant Caves. Who the fuck is going to Revenants? Watson teleports when you got your master, and Keymaster teleports you can't buy. So that's that covered. The ones that I didn't go over. Pest Control. This is probably one of the best teleports in the game. Why? It's stackable, it's left clickable, and it's like 3 inches from a goddamn bank at level 1. Why anybody would not have 1,000 of these sitting around is beyond me. The other ones that we're going to cover here, the dig site. Dig site has a couple of options for getting to it. There's a standard dig site teleport that's offered in the Master Scrollbook. That teleports you right here, somewhere in the middle. So not quite to Fossil Island, not quite to the exam center. If you want to go to the exam center, use the Centistan teleport. Takes you right outside of it. Again, probably only ever going to use these for clue scrolls. And then, of course, your dig site pendant for when you're trying to get to the dig site or go to the north end. You've got options for it. The Centistan teleport and the dig site pendant are substantially cheaper than the dig site teleport scroll, so try to avoid using the scroll. Speaking of ancient teleports that people don't know about, we've got the Lasar teleport right here. Takes you right onto the ice mountain. You got your Oracle shenanigans over to the north, and it's as close as you're going to get to picking up your cannon again. The final ancient teleport that's going to be of use to you is the Gorok teleport. I already covered this in the MEMO episode for the KBD. It is the absolute best way for you to get to 44 Wilderness over by the KBD lair. Just watch where this takes you. Bam. Right beside the obelisk, first try. You don't have to worry about clicking on anything or going anywhere else. You don't have to worry about PKers waiting over here. It is just the absolute best way to get yourself up here into deep wilderness. Lastly, for the wilderness, we're going to talk about the cemetery teleport. This is the absolute fastest method to get to the wilderness God Wars dungeon. Just watch how close this gets you. It's right here. That's the 30 wilderness line. Very important area to have marked. And there's the entrance. Just right there. We're going to talk about an item that most Iron Men will never be able to get. Why? Because where the hell are you getting sea turtles? You need up to 1,000 to get the enchanted lyre imbued. Good fucking luck. As a Chad, just hit up the GE like I did. Very easy, infinite access to Relica. Bam. You play this thing, and you are right outside the money dragon. Fucking mint. To round it out for the Bible teleports, let's talk about this baby right here. The Cell Graveyard Teleport. One of the most useful teleports you will ever come across in this game. Why? Smash this thing on the ground. And voila. Right there, right beside a fairy ring. What's very important to know is this puts you right beside the Slayer Mansion. And if you type in the letters A, J, and R here, it'll take you right beside the Slayer Cave. Just like that, that's 2/3 of your teleports on a Slayer ring gone. Crack a Royal Seed Pod once you finish Monkey Madness 2. And you've got your Gnome Stronghold 2. Don't waste money on fucking Slayer rings. Sorry. Don't waste your Slayer points. Waste your money on whatever you want, you big fucking sexy Chad. We know you got them bucks to spend. Before we get into your POH, I need you to read this. Go on. Having a little bit of trouble? Tell me, is it, or was it I sit? Now, I need you to point to the green portal. See how much easier that second one was? That's why we're not going to do what every other window licker does and stuff our Nexus with teleports we use every fucking time we walk into our house. That would be a waste. The Nexus takes extra clicks. You know homie don't play that. We don't do extra clicks here. This atrocity is for holding all the teleports you need for clue scrolls and quests, but never use. Draenor Manor for another Avis device? That's a good use for a Nexus. Weiss and Trollheim for the farm runs you do every single hour? That's a terrible use, man. Condensing your house does speed up load times, but what's the point of speeding up load times if you're wasting it doing 15 extra clicks an hour? Just click on the light blue portal, head to Weiss, and plant your Torstal Seed. Don't bother reading from your Nexus. Focusing on your POH, we want to set up your house to be as left click as possible. Enter portal, etc. Places you always go will get portals. For me, that's Farrock, Nerdy, the Solve Graveyard Teleport, which we've already covered, Barrows, Lunar Isle, Corinth, etc. The jewelry box is always 2 clicks. Ugh. That's fucking gross. Unless you go over here to Runelight, you turn on your menu entry swapper, go down to, I believe it is your object swaps, and you can turn on your jewelry box, and bam, it's now left click. With this in mind, it is still not worth setting up your jewelry box to be a left click for either the Grand Exchange or Edgeville. We got better options for that. For Edgeville, mount a glory in your house. Becomes an instant left click from anywhere. And for the Grand Exchange, do your Varrock medium diaries. They're really easy. The payoff is great. Get your free 7,500 runecrafting XP. And then with a Nexus, you can set up a Grand Exchange left click here while maintaining a Varrock Grand Exchange teleport here. If you don't have your Nexus, you can just toggle this to be your left click Grand Exchange. I, on the other hand, do not think it is worth your time to walk across Varrock, so I like keeping these on alternate options. That is why my left click Nexus is my Grand Exchange. This brings us to the last bit for the GE Chads. That would be your diary teleports. We're going to cover these in order to talk about what's valuable, what's not. First thing, the Already Easy Diary. Gives you the Already Cloak, teleport you to the Kandarin Monastery. It's not very useful unless you're a metalhead gimp like I am. For you gimps, it's a close permanent teleport here to this fairy ring and here to the spirit tree. The Desert Elite Diary is technically useful. You teleport and it'll bring you over here quite close to the Narda statue, which will give you full run, prayer, and boost your HP above max. Or you can go to World 330 and sit from someone's pool, or raise your own construction, which is a lot faster than meeting the diary requirement. Or you can just go to the Ferox Enclave, or you can eat and drink prayer pots. There's so many better alternatives to getting this diary done. Don't waste your time. Fremnik Elite Diary gives you a permanent teleport right here to the center of Relica. Iron Tools can have fun trying to get sea turtles for the Infinite Lyre, but as a real GE Chad, as we covered earlier, you can just buy it, or you can go to Waterbirth, travel across for a couple of seconds. Again, it's really not something worth getting. The Kandarin Elite Diary will grant you the Kandarin headgear with infinite teleports over to Sherlock, or you can just take the fairy ring. That's a very short run away. It is not worth the 8's task of getting rank 5 in Barbarian Assault. I had to be hospitalized. I was sick for 4 days immediately after getting it done myself, as I'm sure any other person was. The vomit and diarrhea with putting up with World 306 is just atrocious. So, that being said, don't waste your time. Stick with the hard diary. It lets you move your teleport up here to the Sears Village Bank. That is a very useful one. This one, not so much. The Karamja Hard and Elite Diary. Finally, something fucking useful. The Karamja Hard Diary gives you this gem mine teleport. Everybody goes on about the crafting cape for a bank deposit box. Look at this. Look at this. One right here. This gives you a really lazy way to mine. You go to the Kandarin Monastery. You mine all your rocks here. Clap back to the gem mine whenever it loads. And bam, you can deposit your ores. Very quick, very easy. It gets even better with the Elite Diary. Unfortunately, I don't have the rune crafting on this account to show you, but it'll tell you right over here, do your good friend Duradaddy. And that puts you at Duradaddy's beck and call with a simple clap clap, and that's right where you want to be. The Korrent Hard and Elite Diary. Hard teleports you to this place. Does anybody know where I am? No? You know why? Because there's fuck all here. Look at this. Absolutely nothing. If you recognize this spot, it's because you misclicked Urata's Blessing. Elite lets you go be noticed by Konar. Go to Duradaddy if you're not getting Hydras. You don't need to come talk to this filthy e-thought. God, you Konar simps disgust me. Lumbridge Hard and Elite Diaries. Grants you this pretty little ring. And that gives you an endless supply of cabbaging the fuck out to a herb patch. That is very useful. But it is not worth unlocking Bones to Peaches in order to unlock it. You don't deserve to drink that much Listerine just to teleport like a cabbage. Run from Draenor like a normal person. The Elite stops you from needing a Draymond staff with fairy rings, which means no more walking back to the bank when you forgot it. If you're going to put yourself through a quest keep in rune crafting, definitely do this. But let's be honest, we know why you're walking back to the bank. Again. With the Mauritania Hard Diary, for the terrible cost of right-clicking something, you can get a somewhat reasonable infinite bank teleport. But that's that hideous right-clicking. If you follow my actual RuneScape advice, you'll understand why I have this square marked. It makes it very easy for me to click on the bank without ever having to look around for the square. But, as we said earlier, the pest control teleports are the far better option. The Western Elite Diary. It's infinite teleport. Why the fuck do you want to teleport to Piscatoris? 1. There's a scroll that you can buy. 2. Why would you ever want to replace our Lord and Savior, Elder Gnome Child? 3. Why the fuck do you want to teleport to Piscatoris? Anything that's in the area, you have a much better option in a fairy ring. There's the scroll, you can take a rowboat, fairy ring. Never, ever replace our Lord and Savior. Brings us to our final diary teleport, the Wilderness Sword. Takes you right to the Fountain of Rune. Again, more right-clicking shit, an extra click to confirm because you're going into the wilderness. This does grant you with a way that can make you up to 1 mil an hour. It's very low effort, depending on the price of Rings of Wealth. But is it really worth going through the effort of getting 84 thieving, 90 smithing, 85 mining, high cooking, high fishing? To use this teleport? Absolutely not. There are a couple of other perks that you get from the Wilderness Elite Diary. In terms of travel, absolutely not worth it. You can use the obelisk here to get over to the volcano for smelting shards together to make the shields. Otherwise, Anakarl Portal. You can put it in your house, you can teleport on Ancients, or you can buy an Anakarl tablet. It is absolutely not worth going out of your way to get the Wilderness Elite Diaries done in terms to travel. Now that we've dealt with the GE chads, let's talk to all of you who sit at home with one hand on your mouse, the other hand on your cock, and whack it to scrub drops because you have a little grey helmet. We're on to what's useful for you. I mean this, there's so many better options for mains, but in terms of Iron Men, life's a little harder. So let's cover a few things. For you IRL helmet wearers, we are going to recap over points that we've already covered. First thing, we need to talk about Fairy Fungus. Do the RD Easy Diary very early on, get your Monastery Teleport. It's more than just having this as a simple teleport. It's right beside prayer, gives you almost infinite prayer. Wherever you need to go, if there's a fairy ring nearby, this will grant you all the prayer points that you will ever need. Makes Slayer a lot easier. More importantly, for what I'm about to show you, makes Barrows very easy. I'm going to configure this. If you go to the fairy ring BKR, it puts you in the Mortmire Swamp. It's a short run to the south. We can count it off. You got one little lake here. That's not the one. When you come down further to the larger lake, that's when you go east. You board the boat, and the boat will take you right down the river in Mortmire, all the way to Morton, putting you right outside of Barrows. This is a fast, easy, infinite prayer way, and a quick travel route for early game Ironmen to get over to Barrows. For your intermediate levels, once you hit 50 construction, do some Arceus favor, then install the Salve Graveyard Teleport as we covered earlier. It's a lot faster in order to get to Fairy Room. I mean, teleport home, left click your portal, as we said, right there. At your end game, your very fast teleport, once you've finished all your quests, right beside the Fairy Ring. That is top tier, and it is also your best non-Kandarin Headgear 4 option for running north up here towards Sherlock. Make note of this Fairy Ring. Don't waste time saving up Slayer points for Slayer rings. Covered this a bit earlier. We're going to go a bit more in depth from an iron perspective. Fairy Ring will get you to the Slayer Tower. Fairy Ring will get you to the Slayer Cave. CKS gets you to the tower. AJR gets you to the Slayer Cave. Gnome Stronghold, if that's where you're trying to go. Dual Ring over to Al-Kharid. And go take a glider. It's a little bit longer, but it's a lot better to have those Slayer points and skips. Glider right over here to Queerpreet. I'm assuming that's how Jagex wants it said, and you can go right down over to the Slayer Cave. That being said, most of these tasks can be killed elsewhere faster, or for better drops, better XP. Catacombs of Courant are far better than most of the locations here. Or you can go to the Ironworth Dungeon. If you get assigned something like Terror Dogs, why the fuck are you still able to get assigned Terror Dogs? Go to a better Slayer Master. Talk to our main man, Duradaddy. But let's say for some reason you did get assigned them. Guess what? Fairy Fungus got you covered again. Just gonna go all the way over here to Canifis, where I will show you that the fairy code BIP takes you right outside the Haunted Mine. Fairy Fungus has always got your back. Dark Beasts. If you're trying to teleport to Dark Beasts, Courant. That gives you your Dark Totem pieces. Ironworth Dungeon gives you your Crystal Shards. But Konar assigned them to me at the Mourner Lair. That's what your simping ass deserves. Stop simping for Konar. But even then, very simple solution. Use the West Ardoon teleport. You wear your full mourner, you go downstairs, and you're right there. Takes no time to get to any of these locations. No point to getting a Slayer Ring unlock unless you get the Eternal Gem. The glory that is no longer smothering your face in camel shit. For the mere cost of 1 million coins and the completion of the Anakras Lament spacebar holding test, you can get the Infinite Camulet seen here. This will put you right outside the Ancient Magic's Pyramid. Wonderful way to change magics as an Iron Man. I mean, it's a decent way as a main, but let's be honest, mains are going to go to World 330, walk into some stranger's house, start praying like they're at church, and walk out. For us, until you get your Pharaoh's Scepter, this is a consistent, easy way to change spellbooks, and it's very quick. Take, what, 20 seconds? Important part to note here, your prayer will be drained. Make sure that you bring a dual ring, or that you're willing to suicide over to the mummies, or whatever else. Just make sure that you get your prayer back. Are you an Iron Man and want to feel more ostracized by the community? Find yourself a Chambers of Xeric raid to leech. If you're able to get an Ancient Tablet, a simple 1 out of 10 drop, regardless of your contribution to the raid, and let's be honest, you're not contributing to the raid, you'll be able to unlock a steady banking teleport with a few Lizardman fangs. Got 991 charges right here. You just go to Xeric's Honor, and bam! Bank right here. Basically infinite. It's a single easy infinite slot that gives you bank access for life. But to add on top of it, you can double this as a healing mechanism. You join your own clan chat, read the recruiting board, make a party, enter, then swiftly exit. Damn, that might have been a good read. Voila. Full HP, full prayer, full run. So you've finished leeching with the GE chads, you're iced out in your camel shit necklace, but you gotta get home right away before you get caught out with your side piece. You can't do that with a house teleport, you're on the wrong spellbook. Thankfully, your Xerix talisman has you covered. By teleporting straight to the Xerix Glade, after having 25 construction, you can just head a little south, regardless of what spellbook you are on, and hit the house portal over in the Hosidius area. Has the added benefit of letting you keep an eye on your cush before the police roll up. At 83 farming and 75 construction, even if you boost to it, you can convince one of these weird woody fucks to come home with you. This has the added benefit of letting you use either a Grand Seed Pod or the Arty Cloak to get to a Spirit Tree and come home, regardless of your spellbook. But I'm less fond of this method because it's weird for a tree to moan while you're jacking it in your bedroom. If you're like me and you're not fond of knocking out the teeth of springy crocodiles from Donkey Kong, there's another option for an infinite bank. The reason why it's not my favorite is it is always a right click. You cannot get RuneLite to change it, and as you know on this channel, that is just something we absolutely abhor. But we chose to be an iron-headed gimp, so let me show you. With around base 70s and 43 prayer, you can complete the quest Taste of Hope, which will unlock the Draken's Medallion here, which will give you an infinite teleport to the south here at the Theater of Blood, where you can teleport and access the bank. Where this comes in handy, first and foremost, is it'll become a fast option for you to go get your Draymond Staff when you forgot it. It's a fast way to bank. It's not to be overlooked. Now, it's pretty common knowledge that Dragon Slayer 2 will give you this item right here, the Mythical Cape. And everyone knows that it'll teleport you right to the Myth Guild. Something a lot of people do not know is that by reminiscing in this Pool of Dreams, you get a safe way to get your HP and prayer back by fighting Galvik. This is safe for hardcore Ironmen after the quest. During the quest, fighting Galvik will cost you your status, but after the quest, you can do this completely safely. Bam, full stats back. What this becomes really beneficial with is by climbing upstairs here, you can access the bank, and for countless Zulrah KC, I would teleport using my quest key, or you can house portal and use your self-graveyard teleport. Use this to go to BJS, to the Big Juicy Snake, and then afterwards teleport to the Myth Guild, heal up here, run upstairs. It's an infinite bank and heal. That's what makes this really useful. You really see it pay off when you have to do it a lot. Like to smash a fucking snake's head in 1,000 times. I'm looking at you, Zulrah. The blue phase means you use magic, not go full machine gun with range. The final item I want to show you today is another source of quick stat recovery. That is a fire pit in your house. It is a fast way to remove a skull if you're a PKer. But as an Iron Man, until you get to 83 construction with the high herb lore, this is probably your easiest option for getting your HP back in your house. So it will take 77 construction, or 69 plus 8 using a stew and saw, and it requires a throne room with a challenge mode lever, Turn on challenge mode. You also require a dungeon to go down, and oubliette. In the oubliette, you can attach the fire pit and allow the fire pit to kill you off, which will have you safely respawn outside your house at full HP. That's everything for today. To learn more about how to play less RuneScape, please click subscribe.